The Herd on ESPN Radio, ESPNradio.com, and ESPNU. Presented by Progressive Insurance. Speaking of the U, Al Golden, Miami Hurricanes head coach in studio with us. Back in your old stomping ground. You're an old Northeast guy here. You're fitting in right here on ESPN.
That's it. I used to run this quarter all the time recruiting, for Boston College and Penn State when I was working for those guys, and then later on Virginia. But I used to have a lot of area out here.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you about you. Look, well documented. It's been a crazy ride for you down there. Take me into Al Golden's mind here. 2011, the Shapiro thing happens, and kind of where you're at now, and looking back at that now as you're kind of past that and where you're at.
Yeah, it's hard to describe to anybody. I think let's just go back a year. Sitting here a year ago answering the same questions that started on August 14th, 2011. So we carried that burden for 3 years and shouldered it. And as grim as it looked a year ago, now we're sitting here 1 year later, not even a year later, and it's equally as bright. Thanks to the generosity of Mr. Ross, we're doing a $350 million renovation to Sun Life Stadium. We just moved into a $20 million Schwartz Center for academic and athletic excellence. We're completing, as we speak, $7 million infrastructure to our field and field turf installation. We're doing a $3 million training table. So literally in 1 year, we've made so much progress, and the least of which is the NCAA investigation being behind us.
A $3 million training table. I need one of those. Where do you get one of those, Golden?
You got to feed these guys, man. I mean,
it's a lot of money for a training table.
No, we've come a long way, though, from a facility standpoint in a short period of time. And so we're not dealing with the NCAA thing anymore, and we have a chance to move forward.
So what does Miami need to do to get back to being Miami?
Just keep doing what we're doing. Just consistently make the climb, because, when we finish the climb, we're going to have a program that can sustain itself. And it's not about a quick fix. It's not about having 1 year and then not doing things the right way and then falling apart. It's not about that. It's going to be a steady climb, keep getting better, becoming more consistent. Obviously recruiting is really important, and that's going as good as it's ever had. I've never really recruited a class at the University of Miami where we didn't have to deal with all of the everything that really surrounds the NCAA.
Is there anything you do differently?
I don't. Is there anything I would have done differently? I don't know, man. It was crazy. It was just one of those deals where you don't know how you're going to react to a situation like that until you're in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. And to be quite honest, if we're really all honest with ourselves, you're really not a leader until you get put in that kind of adversity. So I found out a lot about myself, our philosophy, what's important. And again, I give so much credit to the student athletes there, not just the guys who stayed there during that time, because they could have left, but the guys who came, Duke Johnson, Eric Flowers, Deion Bush, Tracy Howard, all those guys that came and said, okay, I know this is a rocky road right now, but we want to bring the U back, and we're starting to see that now with a lot of the younger kids that we're recruiting. They all understand now that that's behind us now. We're free to do whatever we want to do on the football field, and a lot of kids obviously attracted by that, attracted by the #1 school in the state of Florida and top 45 institution in the country as well. So we're excited about that.
I want to get to some of those specific players and what the conference is going to look like here as we move forward. But you're in the Parcells tree. Do you associate with him a lot? Do you reach out to him? Do you talk to him a lot? Do you seek out advice from him? Is he giving you pony advice too?
No, he definitely
big on the track.
No,
so.
He definitely has. All those guys have meant so much to my career, and I've been exposed to quality men, quality people, and Coach Parcells is one of those guys that if I have a problem, I'll shoot him a text or ask him a question, and I know he's watching, because I'll get a text every now and then saying that he's watching what we're doing and that he's proud of us.
Al Golden, Miami Hurricanes head coach, with us here in studio, giving us his Subway fresh take. You mentioned Duke Johnson. This kid is special. He's a Heisman candidate. How good can he really be? I mean, you've coached a lot of great players. You've been in that tree, as you mentioned. There have been a lot of great talents that have been around you over the years. How special is this guy?
Yeah, I think he's positioned himself to have a really big year. He was about 193, 194 pounds when he left the game in Tallahassee. He's 208 now, maybe 209. He just ran the fastest 40 that he's run at the University of Miami. That was 2 weeks ago. And that ranged anywhere from high 4.3s to low 4.4s. So he's running really well right now. Of course, he's got a great stiff arm. He's got lateral quickness. He's an unselfish player. You know, we ask him to blitz pickup. He'll do that. We say, can you return a kickoff? He'll do that as well. So he's had a great spring. He's past the rehabilitation stage. He's totally integrated, so that's not a concern. And he's got a good supporting cast around him this year, so he doesn't have to shoulder all the burden.
You got a quarterback competition. What's that looking like? Well,
it's really, you know, like a two-headed monster, if you will. We got Ryan Williams, who won the job in the spring and had a great spring, but then he got an ACL with 1 week to go. Very innocuous run around the corner, just running naturally, just tore an ACL. So Ryan is having a great rehabilitation. His recovery has been unbelievable. I don't know, what that's going to mean for his return. And then we had a redshirt freshman in Kevin Olson and two incoming freshmen in Brad Kaya and Malik Rozier. So all of those guys are going to battle it out. And what we wanted to do is just make sure when we had the opportunity to get Jake Heaps is that we bring in someone that's a graduate student that's mature. Jake is married. He started close to 30 games in his collegiate career. So we feel like of that group, we're going to let them compete. And of that group, we'll get it down to two very quickly in training camp and then let them compete to see who the starter will be as we open up the season.
Al, you've been a defensive guy. You had great defense when you were at Temple. Your coordinator, defensive coordinator, Mark D'Onofrio, is with you in Miami, who was with you at Temple. The defense has not caught up to where the offense is. Why is that, and where is the defense headed right now?
Well, I think it will. I mean, I was excited about what we did in the spring. We were very unselfish in the spring. We got great leadership. Anthony Chickalo comes to mind, Ofamba Kamala, of course, Denzel Perryman. So I have no doubt that we're going to continue to improve on defense, and we're going to have to because, for us to be the type of players and program that we want to be, we're going to have to be much better on defense, take the ball away, get off the field on third down, and our tackling needs to improve. There's no question about it. We know what we need to fix on defense. That's the challenge. But at the same time, I'm saying I'm excited about what we've done since January 12th, since the start of the 2014 season on defense.
What's so difficult? You play Florida State every year. What's so difficult about defending Jameis Winston specifically?
Well, it's the cast that he has around him, number one. Before we start talking about him, I think, he had three running backs last year, a really big league tight end, and then multiple receivers in Benjamin and Rashard Green. And, there's a bunch of other guys as well. So good cast, number one. But he's a young man that's very poised, and he's, got excellent athletic ability. So he can run. He can break you down running the ball. But I think the thing that is unique about him is he'll use his athletic ability to maneuver in the pocket, keep his eyes down the field, and have one of those break-your-back throws, where you feel like you got everybody covered, you got a pass rush. So it's not good enough just to get a pass rush, in his face. You really got to constrict the pocket and not let him maneuver back there.
Notre Dame going to join the ACC, sort of. I would imagine the country would love to have your rivalry renewed between – I know you played them recently, but play them more regularly, certainly.
Well, I think, we're going to be on the schedule here, I think 3 times coming up in the next however many years, 8 years or whatever. So I think that, we would love to have that opportunity to continue that. But it's harder and harder. We're playing Nebraska at a conference this year, and then, of course, Notre Dame. We're looking at other home and homes. Since I've been at the University of Miami, we've played Ohio State at a conference, Florida at a conference, Kansas State, Notre Dame. So, and I think that's the way college football is going to go now with the college playoff. You're going to see more intersectional games, more of those kind of rivalries rekindled, if you will. Us going to Nebraska this year, for instance, I think will be great for college football.
Al Golden, Canes head coach, joining us here in the Herd on ESPN Radio. We were talking earlier, the guys and I, we saw on the Today Show today, I know you're a big music guy, that Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga are doing a duet together. I feel like that's right up your alley. You've got a vast collection. You're an Andrea Bocelli guy. Yeah. You're all over the place. So what do you think of Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga, Golden?
I like Tony Bennett.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a parody on Saturday Night Live, though. I promise you that. But no, I like me some Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra and Bocelli.
What's the latest concert you've been to?
I knew you were going to kill me with that.
Yeah.
I'm a downer when it comes to that stuff, man. I don't, I like going to the beach and reading a book and playing with my children, and AJ's playing golf now, so just, knocking around with him a little bit. So I'm kind of that. I know my wife would like to go to a couple more shows, but I haven't been to one in a while.
I ruined Al Golden's Valentine's plans on the radio a couple years ago. I asked him what he was doing for Valentine's Day, and he had to give it up on the air.
No, he didn't ask me. He badgered me, and I tried to keep it a secret about 4 or 5 times.
I'm like, come on, Golden, give it up already.
He was relentless.
Al Golden, Miami Hurricanes. Good luck to you, Al. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Appreciate it.